Rock, Arkansas, best known recently, of course, as Bill Clinton's home. 4 people were wounded in a drive-by shooting, 3 of them children. A growing problem that is shattering Little Rock's quiet. NBC's Jim Cummins.
These are the latest victims of high-powered automatic and semi-automatic weapons on the streets of Little Rock, only a couple of miles away from the governor's mansion. 3 children hid in their beds when 2 men in a car fired at least 20 rounds at a man on the street, and the large caliber bullets ripped through nearby houses. Terrence Caffey, 18 months old, was critically wounded.
And when you use a rifle or a high-powered weapon like was used in this crime, then not only is the intended victim a potential target, but anyone really in the immediate area.
The people around here are terrified. Leonard Evans says after dark the shooting begins, and he keeps his niece nearby.
When I hear them start shooting, I get back in the house and shut the door. Way back in the back room, because, like that house over there, they can shoot through it, and they shot through that lady's house over there. But they ain't hit my house yet.
I'm afraid to sit out at night.
Mary Dillard says when she moved here 15 years ago, this was a peaceful neighborhood. Not anymore.
All through the night you can hear something up there, something shooting or something.
Another woman says she now sleeps on the floor with her baby under mattresses for protection. Police say incidents like this are not just confined to the big cities anymore. They are now common in a place like Little Rock. Jim Cummins, NBC News.
Look at this picture very carefully. It's a 1-year-old drive-by shooting victim, an innocent child caught in the middle of gang warfare. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Is violent crime taking over our city? It would certainly seem so, and the victims many times are innocent.
The most recent example happened about 3 o'clock this morning. 2 brothers were inside their house sleeping when they were hit by bullets from a drive-by shooting. Here's Alan Kelly.
Passenger using the high-powered assault rifle fired several rounds. The rounds penetrated the walls of the house there at 1519 hangar and struck 2 young children inside the house, and then bullet fragments struck 3 other people inside the house.
The ambulances and police descriptions are almost routine, but the sight of innocent victims is harder to get accustomed to. More innocents are injured in drive-by shootings these days because of the weapons being used.
This wall is the barrier that protects the people inside from the violence outside. In fact, one of the bullets went through this wall and through the bed headboard, injuring an 11-year-old laying in the bed. Over on this wall, you can see half a dozen bullet holes through the wall. One of these bullets traveled through the wall, across the room, and into this wall, where it injured a 1-year-old child in the room next door.
The 1-year-old and the 11-year-old are still in critical condition. 3 others are in good condition, but they are not the only victims. Bullets have passed through this house next door, and across the street there are bullet holes in an apartment doorway.
I like to sit on the porch at night while it's cool and pleasant like now, but you can't sit out. I'm afraid to sit out at night.
Mary Dillard lives 2 houses from Thursday morning's shooting. She hears gunfire all the time.
That gets me upset because I don't know what way the bullet's going.
Across the street, the story is the same.
When I hear them start shooting, I get back in the house and shut the door. Way back in the back room, because, like that house over there, they can shoot through it, and they shot through that lady's house over there. But they ain't hit my house yet.
The fear of night is shared by hundreds of innocents in Little Rock, reinforced by tragedies like a 1-year-old victim. Alan Kelly, Channel 4 Eyewitness News.
Those 2 brothers remain hospitalized tonight at Children's Hospital in Little Rock. 1-year-old Terrence Caffey remains in critical condition. His 11-year-old brother Michael is now reported in serious.
Watch as police take back a building where gangs are barricaded inside. Detectives say gangs are waging war on CHA guards and pinning down police with bullets and sniper fire from the shadows. Now, before dawn, police will secure the tall white tower, arrest 3 juvenile gang members, and seize 4 weapons. Then the cycle of violence begins again at daylight with gunfire from a building across the street. Police take aim in that direction, and the cycle continues. Again, morning news. Now neighbors tell us the suspect was always firing his guns. This time the shooting spree was inside the ER at St. Anthony Hospital in Michigan City, 65 miles southeast of Chicago. 3 people wounded, 1 critically. WGN's Joni Lum has more on the suspect and the scene.
The St. Anthony Hospital walls are riddled with bullet holes, some covered with tape as if to hide the violence. At least 13 shots were fired. 52-year-old Charles Major had been brought by ambulance to St. Anthony at about 1 a.m. He was complaining of leg pains and other ailments before he allegedly took out a 9mm semi-automatic handgun from his wife's purse and started shooting wildly around the emergency room.
I heard some loud commotion and a lot of screaming, and also the shots were going off at the same time. I seen the flashing from the shots going off, and next thing we do, we shut the door, and that was the last thing we seen.
2 security guards and a hospital visitor were wounded. Major then fled the hospital on foot with his wife and 4 young children. An hour and a half later, police were checking this family crisis center to see whether Major, his wife, and children had sought shelter here. The officer had just left the center when shots were fired at him.
There was 2 gunshots that he, I think as he stated, he heard whizzing by. Then he jumped off the porch onto the ground. He heard another gunshot, and by this time he'd called for other units to arrive.
Police immediately arrested Major and his 42-year-old wife, Phyllis. Their 18-year-old son says Major was a peaceful man who provided for the 9 children in the family in spite of being unemployed.
It hurt me, to find out he shot those, people, I guess, because I guess he thought they were involved with some, well, they must have been bothering him or something, because I know he wouldn't have did it for nothing.
But neighbors say Major fired weapons around the neighborhood every day for the last 3 weeks, destroying property and threatening lives.
The guy is just a menace to this society. We've taken statements down to the policemen. We try to get a block thing together to report him to the policeman, but the policeman will come and talk to him and let him go.
Neighbors say they predicted the shooting wouldn't stop until someone was hurt. In Michigan City, Joni Lum, WGN News.